Saturday, June 21st, 2014. Oh. The money, man. Okay, I just need to get the following things out. Not a judgment. It's not a judgment of what it's every day I'm waking up with two people who are closer to me. I don't have that many people that are anywhere near as close as these two people are to me right now. I can count on one hand the number of people that are, I would even use the word close. Because even the people that are the closest to me right now are really, with the exception of one of those people up in Michigan, that friend, we are definitely close. On very, very many levels, very deeply, very much beyond this world. And then a new friend. Based in St. Pete, but he travels for work. We are all, but again, very new friend. We haven't even known him 2 months. Very new friend. We are connected on a level well beyond this world, the closeness. But everybody else, including my romantic partner right now, the person I am really evaluating on a daily basis of what this relationship. Everybody else is, the close means really just the physical proximity. Obviously, in the case of my relationship, that's a daily thing. The other relationship lives in town as well here, and so that is multiple times a week of physical presence, that and that sort of proximity. They are that close to this part of my journey manifesting, this part of the knowing. This part goes back to when I was fucking 6 years old. Some parts only go back 4 years. And when I mean that, it means like the intuition for something first hit 4 years ago, or 2 years ago, or in some cases, 2 months ago. And it manifests itself because the intuitions come in for little things and bigger things. All sorts of dreams. We have all sorts of dreams for ourselves. Example, it used to be a dream of mine to be able to go to work every day in jeans. Microsoft fulfilled that dream, right? Finally, I got to go to a place every day where you were almost the oddball if you weren't wearing jeans. Crazy, but that was a dream of mine. That's how casual, my demeanor, I'm more casual. I'm not, so I've had all sorts of dreams coming true since my conscious awakening 3.5 years ago. But this dream that is manifesting, coming true, visible to others, this one right now that is unfolding in front of my face every day. So as a consequence, of course, these people in proximity physically to me, no matter how little of it they're able to understand, they're physically in my proximity as this happens. And they're physically seeing different aspects of proof, if you will, that I'm not just going to get lucky here. This break isn't just going to be a lucky thing. I am creating this. I am almost creating the opportunity itself. We have that much control over what our realities are that I am practically creating the opportunity myself. And I'm certainly going to be ready for any opportunity that I'm not as conscious of that might fall in my lap. That's what I'm saying. That's what you got to be on alert. Like every everything, and not from a time, you don't engage in your life just kind of waiting, is this a sign? It happens naturally. You just know, you just go with the flow, you just live. You live every day knowing that everything is playing out exactly as it should be. And anytime you want to dive in with anything that's going on and really examine the meaning, you can do that. And it gets more beautiful with the more conscious others that you're sharing an experience with understand that. Because that's what I'm saying. When you meet a stranger, what I've learned now is I don't jump in and share or approach or attempt to bring the meaning that I see and feel in everything. I don't do it anymore with anybody unless they're vibing it too, because it's not, if they can't see it and feel it or aren't willing to also mutually try to see where the meaning is, it's a waste of energy. It's just inefficient. I know that later on the day or later on in the week or the month or the year, I will cross paths with somebody. Our energies will vibe, and we both really will be ready to say, shit, why are we crossing paths? What are your dreams? What are your passions? What's going on in your world? And then the other person shares, and you try to find the win-win collaborative opportunities to cooperatively try to, continue to shine this light and work and play with others like yourselves who are ready, really ready to live the meaning of life, to live it, who understand that we create it completely. And when you get that, you're not going to be as easily, as readily, excited to give away 40 hours of your work to somebody else's dream. That's going to be a lot harder to do when you really understand to what extent right now you can create your own dreams. And I have been doing that, and I have brought this on myself, i.e. the sort of, again, words, they're just words. I don't have words for what I'm feeling. The words that come close is challenging, hard, painful, that I've got these two relationships in particular. One familial in terms of this life in this blood, but again, I believe we're all one big family. The other one damn near might be my life mate. That is how strong the connection when I do stay completely in the present, and I know that that's my test. But I can't lie that even when I'm in the present, we're experiencing ourselves very much just in this dimension, on the physical. Very much just these, especially, he's very, very physical. And while that physical connection is stronger than I've ever had with any other human on the face of the planet that I've met thus far, I know I have remembered myself to be way more than just the physical. The physical is only going to be exciting for me for a very short, relatively short period of time. I've got to connect. I desire that connection at the remembrance with other entities, beings, humans in this world, on this planet, who know that at our cores, we are these non-physical beings that chose to experience life on earth right now in these physical bodies. And I couldn't have known what I'm discovering, which is a hypothesis right now that they are mutually exclusive. When you awake, when you have that one experience or multiple experiences, or you've been working or seeking, I can't explain it because it can happen in an infinite number of ways. From some people, it is just one, a near-death experience that brings them to the brink, that reminds them and they remember, holy shit, this is it. Whoa, man. What are we getting? There's, holy crap. You remember that it's way beyond this little planet and this little life. For me, I was seeking really my whole life. And then I read it practically overnight, but really, I guess 7 weeks. I read everything I could because I was so tired of this physical, limited to our five senses, what you see is what you get world never, ever, ever resonated me. I've always perceived that that the greater amount of the world was well beyond what we were seeing. And when I finally, because of the misery and level of unfulfillment and unhappiness that I was experiencing in my reality, when I finally waved the white flag on that and completely surrendered myself to the belief that something out there really, really is different and possible, that is when it happened. And I just gravitated to reading, for me, about 40 books in about a 7-week time frame, and bam! I can tell you the dates. The letter was written I mailed the letter to my father on September 17th. I started it on September 10th, although I've been writing it in my head for a full year. It was a painful letter, and I drastically underestimated. It wasn't until I got that out of me that I could feel how much I had allowed that to be a toxic poison running through my veins ever since I was 8 years old. When the first divorce, I had no idea it was that debilitating. That I take full responsibility for how I allowed that experience that involved my whole immediate family. I'm not blaming them per se, but it's a collective experience. Okay, we're all kind of part of that. We can't just put it all on one another and say, okay, good luck with it, and not try to address it collectively. We collectively experienced it. Doesn't it make sense to collectively heal from it? And that's all I've been trying to do my whole life. I've been trying to address this original pain, the breakup of my first team in this life, God, that tangent. Back. I finished that letter. I had to get that out first. That was the first necessary step on September 17th. Almost immediately, within days, I began devouring books. And November 18th of 2010, I had one of the top 5 blowing experiences, mind-blowing physical life experiences of this life. At home, in my own healing session, my mom was away. I was at the house myself. It was just me, and I have documentation. As soon as I wrote pages, I spoke to 2 particular friends. I booked a trip to New York as a result of what happened that evening. The trip to New York then blew my mind and became another one of my top 5 just sort of holy shit experiences in this physical life. So it happened very quickly for me, and it happened not accidentally at a time when I was already starting over. I was getting ready to move to Seattle, which, you can't get completely opposite from where I was living in Tampa, Sarasota, the Tampa area for 16 plus years, and I'm going to Seattle, Washington. I was starting anew. So not at all accidental that all of this happened. And I have been consciously creating my life every single day with 100% belief in knowing. What I've had to do is break the patterns. So I've had the knowing and the since November 18th. November 18th, no doubt in my mind, and it had been building. There are other dates previous to that are very significant on this journey. Because really, it was 2008. Really, it was when I really left the mainstream world. When I left teaching. When teaching wasn't even a career I could feel good in sleeping at night. My experience as a teacher and so many of the other teachers that I was speaking to in different schools in different parts of the city, different parts of the country, and just witnessing what I witnessed and experiencing what I experienced as a 6th grade teacher for those 2 years, there was, when even that felt It felt no different than all of the adjectives that would stereotypically be applied to sort of the cutthroat business world. That was my perception, that was my experience, and so for me, there was no way, and I was exhausted, literally working 80 hours a week for the littlest amount of pay, the littlest amount of respect. It was the most inefficient work of my life, really, in terms of efficiency, in straight time money, not in energy. I can't put a value on what that time did for me in energy. To be around my kids. I loved my kids. But straight in our paradigm of time and money, by far the most inefficient time of my life. And as such, like I blew myself out. I was burnt out, fried after 2 years. Because I only know how to be me when I engage in work. In order to do my job, prepare those kids for the world they're entering, our systems are that far from that for me to feel like to do my job to the best of my capabilities, the only way to do it anywhere near my capabilities was to put in those kinds of hours. Other than that, I'm not wired in a way where I could just be like, well, they're only paying, me this much, so I'm just going to show up. No way. And it didn't make sense to me to sacrifice my entire life, all of my energy, to something where really nobody on the surface gave a shit, including many of the kids. Why am I going to take my potent teacher energy when only a few of those kids really want to be there? When if you give me a room full of kids that really want to learn and grow and expand, it's what? That's why I said when Oprah opened her school in South Africa, I was like, take me. I wrote to Oprah's website like 3 times. I will be a janitor at that school. Let me around that energy. And I showed my first year kids. It was during FCAT week. There was a special on TV. I videotaped it. I brought it in. We're not allowed to teach in FCAT week. God forbid. Can't overwhelm the kids. These tests mean everything. Let's feed them. We're actually going to treat them well. We're actually going to make sure they all get breakfast. Everything's going to be all different during FCAT week. Fuck the rest of the year. But FCAT week, Anyway, that's when I showed my first year kids. And it was a tough thing to show them. Because a lot of them were my first year kids, extremely unappreciative. But they were kids, for God's sake. The reason why is because of the environments that they were being brought up in. And we had room at that school to treat it differently. But when I spoke up and tried to create that sort of environment, I was blacklisted immediately and threatening to everybody because it was... Then you actually have to act on what you're saying. Everybody wants to bitch and moan about the systems, but nobody really, when it comes down to it, folks, it's going to take a little bit of effort to create something new, to actually do something and not just say it. Big difference, like enormous difference. And that's coming from somebody who all I did was talk. All I did was talk. All I did, because I didn't see any way for me to act. I didn't understand yet. I didn't remember. I hadn't awoken to the remembering of, oh my God, I can't wait for something outside of me to give me this. I need to remember that I am the thing that creates these opportunities, these new systems, these new ways. Be the change you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi said. I have been ready for that my entire life. But again, I didn't until I took the time and the space away from this crazy-paced, achievement-based, intellectual-based, go. God forbid if you give yourself any time off, and if you do, you better have an explanation for that gap in your resume. You better have an explanation. And let me tell you, to say that you took a year off to discover yourself, not really gonna fly. Well, not in my world. I think that's ridiculous. So, okay, let's just continue to keep up this grand facade where nobody's real with anybody. No. I am ready to be in a world with people who want to not have to, who understand you don't ever have to apologize or convince or prove or fake. You just need to be. I'm going on all these tangents. The letter to my dad, the awakening was so fast for me. And again, not surprising, my whole story has been bipolar. My whole life people have wanted to give me that label. Put me on meds. So of course it was extreme. And the reason why is because I've always understood the positive is how it's supposed to be. The only reason I would go down to the negative is because I would fall victim. I really was, because I was still the victim consciousness. I wasn't aware of all these terms and that this was going on. But now, after learning these terms and these concepts, that makes perfect sense to me. I was playing the victim of society and the world around me that was telling me, what are you doing? That's not how the world works. No, change takes a lot of time. No, la, 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 whatever it was. And not trusting myself, my own connection, what I knew to be true about myself and my capabilities and my dreams and my ability to make those dreams come true. So yeah, when you can't ever, that's how it looks for me. That's not, it's going to look 7 billion different ways. And there's some commonalities in people's stories. And I understand that, and that's what I'm trying to talk to as I live this and share this simultaneously. And what prompted all this is I know I am intended for at least a short period of time, because it's what I just lived through and have direct experience with. And the big three, talking very real about religion / spirituality, money, and politics. And I am the money one. I am face to face where I understand these guys. I understand and can appreciate and give them room for their opinion and beliefs tied to money and investment. They have no way to understand just say it. Each one of them ready to throw down cash for a home, okay? So even a cheap home, let's just say 150 grand. Each one of them ready and eager, almost having to hold themselves back. The momentum of this paradigm is so strong that both of these guys, neither of whom claims to want to be a part of any part of the systems that surround us, cannot wait on some level to invest their hard-earned money, and that they rightly so want to invest in the best, quote-unquote, best way possible, because they've taken their time and their effort on their journey to make that. They're not going to just give it away. I understand that, of course. But they want to immediately, they're like holding themselves back from buying into a system that, one, they believe is going to crumble. One of them absolutely believes it's crumbling, and on some level wants it to crumble, on a damn near wants it to crumble, but going to invest in it? Do you understand how that can't work? That can't work. You can't, if you have a belief that you want it to fail, you believe it will fail, and then you invest your money, and on the other end, you want your investment for your money, then don't you see then those conflict? They conflict. You can't want your money and in order for you to ever get your worth of your money, that system needs to maintain itself. So it's like you're setting yourself up for this ridiculous internal war that you can't see on your own. But it's clear as fucking day to somebody like me, because I had to go through these huge revelations pertaining to money specifically as a result of what my journey has been. I wouldn't have chosen to go on this particular money part of the journey this past year and a half. I never would have chosen this. This wasn't the plan. I had a fucking plan. I had a great plan. And it wasn't a plan. Yes, it was absolutely a plan that, I won't say depended, but had very strong, it had dependencies. It was a plan that absolutely had dependencies on others. In general, my family. I had specific ideas of people for a reason in my family, but in general, my family. And so, I don't lose track here. It's just every day, these guys want to, and these are guys that don't believe. So one, they both follow the Native American approach, or claim that they want to. Hello, Native Americans, you don't own land. Land isn't here to be owned. So again, hello, hypocrisy. You can't. So you want to take all this money, and that, do you know? And I'm in my world. You invest in people. You invest in people. There is a more powerful investment on the planet right now than investing in a person, specifically a person who is following their heart, following their passion. That is the most powerful investment. And I will be proving that, but the only way I can prove that is with a way to invest in people, and I'm doing my best. My house is an investment. Like I'm offering this, like I am doing my best to offer what I have now. But when I do have money, that is the easiest, quickest way in this old game to prove something, is to do it with money. But I am telling you, my life has proven this enough to these particular two guys who have a front row seat. They don't know anywhere near all the details, but they know enough where it's coming back to me already. You don't judge how it comes back to you, because everything is neutral until you give it meaning. But the massive amount of faith and belief I put out in the world in hope of humanity in the form of monetary investments in 5 different people and like couples. A couple of those are couples, a couple of them are individuals. In people following their heart, doing what is part of their calling. Like I invested in people. And I've known all along it was going to come back to me well beyond what I invested, and it's already happened. Like it's happening. And to wake up and yet, with a big yet, I'm not able to fully act all day, every day in my game, which if I was, the effect that I'm going to have is so monumental. I'm still having to deal with the consequences in the money game. And by no means, I don't have an expectation. Right now, I will not accept money from either of these gentlemen, even if they were to offer it. They're not going to offer it, and that's fine. But again, I can understand and appreciate why that doesn't even cross their mind to invest in me. But from my angle, they can't understand how, if the shoe was on the other foot, and I was one of the persons, only one of these guys has the complete knowledge of what my scenario is at present. But it happens to be the guy who claims that he wants to be with me for the rest of our lives. He's ready to throw a guy that claims it's all about love. And I really mean it when I say I understand money is just energy, man. Because if the shoe is on the other foot, and what I am doing, what my life is right now, there is no way that I would not be using the money that I had to expedite this debt scenario. There's no way. Because I mean, in any scenario, but most certainly with the person that I loved, with the person that I saw myself spending the rest of my life, I would not let that person risk what I am risking. Now again, risk is in quotations. But it's not, I wouldn't. And that is what, so I'm trying to give him his space to have his, but for me to wake up and remind myself, when these guys are ready, if they gave me $160,000, and I'm not talking about for just me, I need a minute fraction of that to alleviate my stress of my debt, which then really frees me to do my work. But fuck that. If they were, I can tell them who to invest it in. and what to invest it in and what projects. That well beyond that money will energetically pay off for them so far beyond what they can see monetarily. But, and again, I got to be playing, like I'm evaluating to what extent, how close, like the people closest to me, what level I need them to be playing the new game. And it's not need, it's want. Because otherwise, I'll just be by myself. Because I know that down the line, I will meet somebody that will be able to, have all these amazing feelings towards me that this present man does. And oh yeah, by the way, who also understands we chose this. We chose this. We can create anything. We don't need to be bound by this, by the rules of this world. And hey, we're not married. We don't have careers. We don't have kids. We've got, between us, we've got money. I've got a plan, like a ridiculous plan. We've got all these things. Nothing should be holding us back right now. And he can't see that, and that's fine. For him, but I don't know. I'm not able to celebrate any of this dream that's unfolding with the man that's closest to me. And because he doesn't understand that this isn't just, he doesn't understand what I've, and I don't, I feel like I'd rather celebrate it by myself with my own energy than to have to be going rather than celebrate it by myself when I have supposedly a partner. That's what I'm trying to evaluate. That's what I'm trying to evaluate for myself. Is it more efficient? Am I happier? Is it really energy-wise? Because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to continuously, to keep the harmony with us right now, to appreciate and give him the space to believe his things, and then to be the only one in my world believing on the complete, he's no awareness of no agreement of wanting to help others, really. No awareness of no comprehension of what's really going on here. Intellectually, he can appreciate it to an extent, and even that is to a weak extent. But he and then you always come back to, it's never about the other person. It's never ever about the other person. It's about you. It's just reflecting back to you. It's just reflecting back to you. Stop making it about him. It's not about the guys. It's always about you. Ego's creeping in. Something, come on. Then I get real with myself and I'm like, I call myself out on bullshit everywhere. I really do. This really isn't about that. This really is simply about what I know is out there and me deciding to what extent this is going to sound so arrogant and so cocky. But I am trying like hell to guide some of these super powerful friends and family members in my world who, to different extents in different ways, are talking the talk. And it's so clear in what ways they really could be walking the walk, and it's the contradictions. They're clear. And if in a world where the four agreements, when you really understand not to take something personally, I'd be able to just point it out and no harm, no foul. But if I were to just point it out to any of these people, I'm experiencing this with my intimate relationship. Every time I say to him he doesn't understand the whole picture of where I'm coming from, he takes it personally. And then we don't get anywhere because now he's just pissed off. if I were to come out with, and I'm thinking particularly of about 4 relationships right now, they wouldn't be able to receive it like that. So, but it's not the right thing to leave them hanging. It's not the right thing to cut off the friendship altogether. But believe me, the energy it's taking to dance around this shit, instead of being able to just be real, that's what gets exhausting. Fuck the dance. Fuck the games. It's inefficient. It's a waste. I just want to be real. And if you can't handle it, then detach with love. I love you. It's not in the judgment, but let's be real here. And that's where I come back to these guys with the money. It's like, look, I don't need your guys' money. No, I've made it through. I needed it when I asked to one of them a year ago, man. But now, and I'm glad it didn't happen then, because none of this would have panned out. I don't need your fucking money. But I'm going to fucking point out the hypocrisies. Neither one of you say you care about material things. You buy the approach of the natives, but yet both of you are ready to fucking throw all your money. You want the systems to fall. You don't believe in the systems, but here you are investing in the systems. You're investing in the systems. And you will never get what you're desiring if you're investing in a system that you want to fail, but you need it to succeed in order to get the money on your investment. So I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy. And you want to invest either in buying land, which according to the natives, hello, you can't own, but you're buying into the white man's approach then. So don't fucking sit here and pretend like you're really living what you believe. This is a time for getting real. Or you want to buy a house, a physical thing. There's no security in either of those. No real security in either of those. I really get that. I really understand that. And I've proven that I understand that. Why would I energetically want to be around anything where And that's it. And that's the mirror. That's the reflection. I've been dancing around this with B. I've been dancing around it. I don't want his money. I don't need it. I keep telling you, we are never going to have to worry about money. But don't sit here and wake up every day and say, I wish I could do something to help accelerate this time in your life. You fucking can. You're choosing not to. All right? Bottom line. You can. You're choosing not to. So, and if really it's all about love and you can't put a dollar on it, then how are you letting any monetary things get in the, I'm not worth $20,000 right now for the rest of our lives, when I'm telling you, I will take care of it, but then it gets into the whole male thing. He can't have a woman take, so it's all by his rules. His rules. If he would rather buy a house, take $160,000, buy a house and allow me to live in it and not pay for it, and provide that for me. When I'm just like, why? Don't go spend $160,000. Give me fucking 20 so I can relieve myself of this fucking energetic stress. Watch me fly. I swear to God, money will never be an issue. But just in case you think I'm doubting it, here's your $20,000 back. If you now want to really go and spend $160,000 in a house and let it sit there, when this $160,000 has exponentially more power in the world right now, fine, so be it. But that's ridiculous. You're able to see it in your way, and that's the male ego. That's providing. I don't fucking need you to provide for me. I will provide for us for the rest of our lives. I would like your help right now in understanding it's more than just about hoarding in your little life. I know this sounds harsh. He's doing awesome in terms of how much he's already, but fuck, that's what I'm saying. This is torturous. Money is not going to be an issue. Yet, when I get to my energy game, and I will be playing my energy game full time when I alleviate and deal with the consequence of, hello, I incurred the debt because I invested in others. Again, let's not forget that. Expand what you would be contributing to. Contributing to me paying off my debt is so much more than just me paying off my debt. It's me, my business investment in myself, paying my loan back. You're just helping me pay my loan back earlier so that I can really dedicate all my energy, because like you, money was a pretty big energy in my world too. It's taken a lot of energy right now in many ways for me to deal with this consequence. I can't put a dollar value on what you're gonna see what it's gonna mean when this is off of my shoulders.